Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's me, KiaSimone, and listen, we gotta catch up on this Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion, part 1. Why they decided to wait to the very end of the season and start all this fighting, falling out, and telling each other's business is beyond me, but we about to get into it. Before we do, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. Now, the reunion starts out with Kandi complaining, Andy meditating, and Sheree lying. I said, I see what kind of mess this about to be. Kandi come in, she's just a damn disgruntled employee. Who booked these damn rooms? Andy sitting on the floor just nam your whole renge killing his way to the damn reunion. They all come in and sit down. Now we gonna talk about their fashions when we get to Marlo's corner. So Andy's going around greeting all the ladies and he gets to Sheree and says, Sheree, you look refreshed. She said, I feel refreshed. He said, well, what happened? She said, well, you know, I was having a breathing issue, and so I was having surgery for that, and I told them while they were in there, they could go ahead and tweak a few things. Lady, you had a nose job. Now, when Andy greets Marlo, he says, to what do we owe this transformation? Now, we can't see no damn transformation, at least I can't under that damn blanket of a dress she had on, but I guess she's lost weight. She said that we owe this transformation to her trying to get into sample sizes. He said, and how are we going about that? She said, just like everyone else, the shots. You know, I wish they had a damn shot for common sense and decency, because y'all will take a shot for any damn thing. So Andy kicks off the line of questioning by getting into Sheree's business, because your business, as always, is a damn mess. He asked first, what is the story with Bob's daughter, this child that just popped up out of nowhere? Sheree said, I don't damn know. As far as I know, this girl did just pop up out of nowhere. She showed up in Bob's life, said that she was his daughter. He accepted her as his daughter. They never had a blood test or anything, so that's just his child. I do think that's his child, and I think the reason he don't give a damn about a blood test is because the child is grown, and he probably does know what he was out there doing, and I don't think he wants to wake any sleeping giants by playing any games about you ain't even my child. So Andy asked Sheree, well, had your other kids met this daughter, Candace, before? Sheree said, yeah. He said, well, why didn't they tell you? Sheree said, I guess because they thought I didn't give a shit. I mean, this is someone from way before he and I ever got together. So Andy said, well, Kandi, it looked like you gave a shit. It looked like you were genuinely shocked by this. Kandi said, yeah, more than anything, I was shocked by his timing. Why here? Why now? Because Bob lives to embarrass Sheree. So Andy asked, is the sip and see the first time that Bob and Martel met? She said, yeah, and it was kind of weird. It was kind of, strange. Yeah, it was. Because Bob and Martel had more chemistry than you and Martel, but go ahead. Sheree said them meeting for the first time was good, but it was weird because every time Bob comes to her house, he never wants to leave. She said, and it's weird when I got a man that I'm dating in my house and my ex-husband won't leave. She said the party was over. They thought everybody was gone. Bob asked downstairs asking people, you want something to eat? If you don't get your lurch looking ass up out my house. So Andy said to Kenya, you've proposed that Bob and Martel are the same type of guy, and is. Kenya said, yeah, they just seem to be cut from the same cloth based on what she has seen and experienced of Bob and what she's seen of Martel. She thinks they're pretty much the same guy, and they are truly not that far apart. Martel just looks better in a suit than Bob. So then Andy brought up Kandi speaking on Sheree's new face on Speak On It. And they played a clip where Kandi and Drew were talking on Speak On It, and Kandi is telling Drew that Sheree looks just like her now. Kandi said, well, in my defense, I'm referring to this specific picture now. In the picture she used, she did kind of look like Drew. It looked like y'all all going to the same person. Andy tried to tell her, well, it's a compliment because Drew is a beautiful girl. Sheree said, what I'm telling you is if I were Drew, I would be insulted. That's one of my worst pictures. And if she feels like she looks like me at my worst, then that says a lot. Ma'am. So then Andy reads a viewer question that says, Sheree, I know you said Martel had big energy, but do you mind that he's still spreading that big dick all over Huntsville? I said, where the fuck y'all get these questions from? Sheree said, well, when he's with me, we always have an amazing time. He's always really respectful. But I had to pull back from Martel because I kept getting caught up in his mess. You don't say. Andy said, was there a last straw with Martel or was there just a lot of noise? Sheree said there was a lot of noise. It was just a lot of noise. Kenya said, was part of that noise the revenge porn? Did you hear about him and the revenge porn. Kandi looking around like, what in the Dateline hell this done turned into? Sheree said, I don't know how accurate anything is. I just know there was a lot of noise. Kenya said, yeah, he was threatening to release revenge porn on his ex. Kandi said, okay, like different network, different issue. That ain't our problem. Leave that shit over there. We got enough. Sheree said, at the end of the day, I really, really liked him, but I like me more. Girl, I'm glad. So the next question was to Kenya, and it was, Kenya, why wait so long to reveal to Sheree that Martel slid into your DMs? So this is when Kenya starts kicking her bullshit. Kenya said, I didn't think it was anything serious, so it didn't matter. I figured it was just casual. Sheree said, well, then why did you give me the information? Kenya said, I gave you the information once I heard the two of you confirm that you were a serious item. Sheree said, but you're supposed to give me that information before we come out announcing that we're a serious item so that I won't go in that direction if that's a bad direction for me to go. Kenya said, well, it wasn't relevant, Sheree, but it was. If you were aware that they were an item before they became a serious item that was announced to the public, and you had this tidbit of information that, he been shopping himself around our DMs, that is something you should probably share with your girlfriend rather than choosing to share it with her at a major event in front of cameras on a television show on a major TV network. So Kandi brings up to Sheree that she has brought up in many an interview that Kenya does not have a man. Sheree said, yeah, because Kenya keeps bringing up that Kenya doesn't have a man. Kenya said she had to match Martel's energy because she didn't have a man there with her. So my whole point was bring a man next time. Kenya said, I don't want a man. I don't want no man. I don't want a man who talks to his wife any kind of way or who has babies on his wife and mistreats his wife. I said, well, Kenya, you were married to that man. Sheree said, oh, you don't want that kind of man, but you want a man who's running around town with all kind of women. Kenya said, I'm dating. It's different. Sheree said, the hell it is. I'll be damned. If you could date a hoe, I can date a hoe too. My thing is, Kenya has these think piece critiques for all the men that all these other ladies date, but is blind as a bat when she out picking for herself. Her dating track record on this show is atrocious. And I don't mean from the perspective of, oh, she paid these men to come around, because it's even worse if you did not. Like, she literally chose these nutty ass, disrespectful ass men, and then she has all the wisdom when it comes to everybody else's relationships. Girl. Now, somehow Kenya done gone from dragging Sheree to begging for compassion about, I'm just saying it's hard out here. Well, if it's hard out here, you should know this is why she choosing felons and failed husbands and shit. Kandi said, at the end of the day, Sheree, I'm just proud of you that you had the strength to cut and run. Now, Kenya, while you out here telling every damn thing else, please tell me your divorce is finalized. Now, can you just, well, I wish I could say that. Kandi said, no, yes. She minding everybody's business but her own. She said the latest holdup is that he has filed a charge of contempt against me because he claims that I'm keeping him from seeing his child, and his newest complaint is about Marlo kicking the door. She said he used that against me and accused me of putting Brooklyn in an unsafe situation. Kandi asked Marlo, how does she feel about that? Marlo said, I felt awful. I apologized for Brooklyn being in the middle of our bullshit. I felt terrible that she was even in the middle of it. Kenya said, excuse me, what? She said, I apologize for her being in the middle. She said, when? Kandi said, I think she's trying to apologize now. No, the problem, Kandi, is Marlo is a damn lie. She doesn't get to sit here and apologize in real time and make it sound like she offered this apology way back when and she tried to rectify it and she's so remorseful and she felt so bad, she full of shit. Kenya said your apology should have come by way of a phone call. Kandi asked Marlo, well, did you know that Brooklyn was in the room? She said, no, I didn't know at all. Kenya said, well, now that it's become a court issue, you can bring your ass to court with me. Here's your subpoena. You've been served. Kandi looking over the paper, and Kandi is, well, this is, Kenya said a subpoena. Yeah. Kandi said, no, it's blank. Kenya said, oh, I printed the wrong paper. I'm sorry, I'll get the right one. Girl, what? I said, what in the legal Zoom hell is going on here? Kenya said, oh, well, you will be subpoenaed. Don't worry about it. Sonia said, well, wait a minute. Is this a subpoena from you or from the actual court? Kenya said, she's going to be a witness for me. Marlo said, I promise you I will not. Kenya said, well, you can be subpoenaed, and if you don't show up in court, you can go back to jail. She said, I don't give a damn about can, but I do give a damn about canteen. You got something on my books if I go? Kenya said, while you're there, you can talk about why your phone number is in Mark's call records from 2 years ago. Excuse me, what? Kenya said during the discovery process of her divorce, she was able to subpoena Mark's phone records. And in his phone records from 2 years ago is Marlo's phone number. Marlo said, now you lying. She said, so you mean to tell me you weren't calling and texting Mark trying to get dirt on me? Andy said, well, if you could only see the phone records and not the actual conversations, how do you know that she was asking for dirt on you? She said, because Mark told me. Now, you know Mark to be your arch nemesis, and you just believe any damn thing he tell you. Now, I ain't saying him and Marlo weren't talking. I'm not saying Marlo wasn't out hunting for dirt. I'm not saying that because I don't trust Marlo around nobody damn man. But what I am saying is Mark ain't to be trusted, and I take any damn thing he say to be bullshit or starting shit. Andy said, Marlo, were you in touch with Mark? She said, absolutely not. Kenya said another ex-housewife was talking about Marlo being at his restaurant. Marlo said, girl, you know I've been at that man's restaurant years ago. Kenya said, well, do y'all remember when me and Mark were together and Mark was having his event and Marlo walked up to Mark and she was just so comfortable talking to him, and I was trying to figure out why is she so comfortable talking to my husband and asking him questions about this event. Marlo said, I guess the same damn way she comfortable walking up on everybody else's husbands. Well, she ain't lied shit. My thing is, you ain't got no questions for Mark. You don't wonder why Mark was so comfortable around Marlo. You don't wonder why Mark didn't bring it to your attention that Marlo was reaching out to him to get dirt on you. You don't wonder nothing about Mark. Kenya said that's why there's a roadblock there, because I keep finding out about the dirty, crazy, nasty things this girl sets out to do. Well, Kenya, there was a time that this was you. Andy, so I want to move the conversation back over to Sheree. There's been a lot of talk and gossip regarding your birthday dinner, who paid for your birthday dinner. So let's talk about that. Sheree starts explaining, if I decide to throw something for my birthday and I'm inviting my friends, these are my invited guests, and Martel was an invited guest. Andy said, so you would take care of it. Sheree said, take care of it? Me? Why? Andy said, I don't know. I don't know why I thought that. I just assumed that's what you were getting ready to say. Sheree said, why would I say that though? Why would I pay for my birthday dinner? Andy said, I don't know. You have a very interesting relationship with bills. Just if disrespect were a person, cause say what now? Kandi about fell out laughing. Sheree pissed off. She turned to Andy and said, well, can you and Kandi, since Kandi think it's so damn funny, can y'all tell me some bills y'all know of that I haven't paid? And Drew too, since you over there laughing with you're always in the courthouse. Drew said, I got one. How about them damn balloons for that party? We threw that party together. We were supposed to split the bill and you came up with all these damn reasons you weren't paying. How about that? Andy said, you know what? She ain't gonna pay it, and I'm tired of hearing about this shit. I'ma Venmo you. I'll send you the money my damn self. Sheree said, well, since y'all think it's so funny, Drew, ain't nobody never took me to court and said I didn't pay them. And Kandi, nobody ever took me to court and said I stole their idea. Hey, Johnny. And you know Bravo showed the footage of Johnny meeting with an attorney saying that Kandi and Todd stole that whole old lady gang idea from him. Kandi said, well, speaking of stolen ideas, let's talk about how half the fashions that were on your runway are not on your website because the designer never got paid. Well, Sheree pulled Exhibit A out her ass. She had a screenshot. The person who coordinated the whole event said that she paid the designer in full and she was reimbursed in full by Sheree. So any other narrative is some bullshit. Sheree said, so don't believe everything you read on the internet. Kandi said, yeah, that might be all well and true, but half of the damn designs that walk down your runway are not on your website. Sheree about blew a damn gasket. Sheree said, why you so worried about what's on my site? Why you so worried about she by Sheree? How about you mop them nasty ass floors in that restaurant? Kandi said, girl, worry about your new dry ass face or whatever that is you got going on. Sheree jumps up to show off her body to tell Kandi she could never. Ma'am, that has nothing to do with what she just told you about this new face. Now, bless Kandi heart. Kandi couldn't get her words together to read this bitch. Kandi said, you always talk about butts not Squats, not shots, Kandi. Damn. Kandi said, whatever. You put all the shots in your face. That's my point. Sheree said, yeah, I got some of my filler stuff removed from my face. Kandi said, yeah, after you got dragged all up and through the internet for looking crazy. Sheree said, well, how do I look now, bitch? I don't know what's in them shots, but she need to quit taking them because she is aggressive as hell. Kandi said, you look much better. Much better. When I tell you I fell the fuck out. Sheree said, big face, small face. You can't sit with me, honey. Girl, that's not a read. That's not a read. That's not a motherfucking read. This is medical malpractice. That's not a fucking read. Kandi said, you a low down, dirty, nothing ass bitch. I said, now you done found your words, okay. Sheree's still on this big face, little face. You can't sit with me. Kandi said, girl, I can sit with you any day. Keep tightening up your work. Sheree said, you do the same. I don't like this new growling, Sheree. I don't like it. Sheree said, you done had your body done 4 times, so we know you're a lover of plastic surgery. Well, Kandi said, I have not had my body done 4 times now. Well, it may not be 4, but it done been a few. Sheree said, oh, 3. Kandi said, let's be clear. I've never denied having plastic surgery. You've had all kinds of surgery. You done had tummy tucks, had your boobs done. You've had several nose jobs. She said, before we met you on this season, you had a nose job. I said, no, I met you. Sheree said, that's a lie. Kandi said, so you telling me that's your original nose? Sheree said, yes, absolutely. Now that's when the rest of the ladies couldn't take this no more. They said, now Sheree, now you're doing too much. Now you're going too far. That's some bullshit. They all going back and forth and trying to tell Sheree, baby, we see it. Sheree arguing with them about what y'all see. Y'all don't see nothing now. And this, I got 2 questions. Don't y'all all go to the same damn person? And Sheree, what is this whole big face, little face thing? Sheree said, well, big faces when my face was swollen. Kandi said a big face that she need to be worried about is getting her paper up. All right, now you awake. Andy reiterated that this piece of paper that Sheree had just given him was a statement from the person who coordinated her show saying that whatever this designer was saying wasn't true. Kandi said, I don't give a damn what she just gave you. I still stand on the fact that half the stuff that we saw on that runway was not on that website. Sheree said, I'm still trying to figure out why you give a damn. Focus on your own damn businesses. Kandi said, I am. She said, obviously you ain't because they be shooting the motherfuckers up. Next thing you know, Sheree is handing out a pamphlet that she printed called She News that is primarily a collection of bad reviews of Kandi's restaurant. I'll be damned. Kandi said she can print any damn thing she want to print. She need to be printing some fashions. Sheree said, well, speaking of fashions, if you would flip to the back of this pamphlet, you would see where the clothes that Kandi sells, you can find for $9.99 on other websites, but they're $75, $85 on hers. How about that? Kandi said Tags is a clothing store and our clothes are not expensive. Sheree said $9.99 versus $75. I think the point she's making is to the markup on the product and how the same product can be found for a fraction of the price. Now, personally, I think y'all are doing the same damn thing. I think y'all are both buying a lower priced, lower quality product. Y'all are marking them up from here to hell and using your name and platform to sell them. So Andy started asking about how this lady running her business. He said, did any of y'all get y'all's She by Sheree orders that y'all placed when y'all were in Portugal? Sonya was quick to say, yeah, I got mine. Kandi just sat there. Sheree said, Kandi better not play with me because she got hers too. I hand delivered her order. Andy said, well, Sheree, is She by Sheree turning a profit yet? She said, now, Andy, you know I've been working on this for a long time and the average business doesn't turn a profit for the first 2 to 3 years. So the answer is no, and I'm still working on it. And then Sheree made a special presentation to Drew. She says since Drew was the one out here all over the radios and the internets telling the whole world she got nothing and all she wanted was a bag from She by Sheree, I brought the heifer a bag. After she just finished cursing Kandi out, she wants Kandi to help her with presenting the bag to Drew. So she has Kandi to open the bag, and there's that damn film clapper. I don't know what you call them. Well, she had Kandi to pull that out the bag and say, and scene. Just girl. So Andy gets to Drew's segment. He plays her season package, and he asked her what was it like working with Kandi and Todd. She said it was better than I thought it would be. 10 days to shoot a movie is really aggressive, but it was top tier. The trailer was top tier. The food was top tier. The director was top tier. Marlo off to the side talking shit was the pay top tier. So Andy asked Kandi how she felt about hearing Drew say that after this movie, she wouldn't do any production that was lower than Lifetime. Well, Kandi ain't get a chance to answer before Drew started her damage control. Well, it was Todd, and well, you don't understand. I came in at less than I normally take. Andy said, so what is you saying? You wouldn't do any independent film? It ain't got nothing to do with Kandi. So Sheree and Marlo off to their side being a dynamic duo. Sheree said, yeah, I heard she only got paid $10,000 for all that work. Marlo said, you only got paid $10,000 for all that. Kandi said, we definitely paid her more than $10,000. Just shut up. Drew never confirmed what she was paid, but she said it was low enough that when the offer came in, originally her agent passed on it. And Todd had to call her and plead his case to her. And once he expressed what it meant to him, she decided she would take a pay cut and she would do the project for the love of Todd. So the next viewer question was posed to Kenya about her hypocrisy. Because Drew made comments about Kenya's acting career, and she asked, when was the last time you acted in anything, because wasn't twa 20, 30 years ago? Well, Kenya took to the internet to express how she was so disappointed and hurt that Drew would say these things. And so the viewer wants to know, if you were so offended that she would make fun of your career, how is that any different from you making fun of her video when you called her video shoot a low-budget Beyonce vibe? Kenya reached deep into her bag of bullshit for this answer. She said, well, the difference is I was shading in a fun way her production and even the whole woo thing, because I do feel like you are that talented and I wanted to see so much more from you. Girl, you is so full of shit. It's not even funny. Andy said, do you accept that, Drew? Drew sitting there thinking about how to say no. Marlo said it's gaslighting, just like Ralph does. Well, Kenya offers an apology to Drew. She said she thought she was being supportive and she thought it was just fun shade. She figured her being there was enough support. Now, Kenya, that is the definition of a frenemy. I'm going to show up and show my face so that it can always be said that I was there. But while I'm there, I'm going to be dragging you to hell and talking about you like a dog. So Andy moves to Drew and Kandi's issue. And he said, Kandi, did it upset you to hear Drew say that you were making up the whole her and Latoya story to promote your movie? Kandi said, hell yeah. Kandi said, it definitely upset me to hear her call me a liar multiple times. Drew said, well, then why in 2021 did you say on the internet that if I read the situation wrong, that I'm wrong? Kandi said, I was trying to be funny. I was saying, well, I could have sworn that I saw y'all, but if you say that that didn't happen, I could be wrong. She said, that was my way of trying to be a friend to you, because I couldn't understand why you were denying it. And I figured, well, if she's denying it this hard, it must have something to do with her husband and her marriage. So let me just help her keep her lie up. Andy said, well, Kandi, is there a chance that you saw it wrong? She said, no. I ain't making it up. I didn't imagine it. I know what I saw. Kandi said, how the hell I'm gonna make up a story to promote a movie that didn't even exist at the time? Sonia said, well, it seemed to me that the only person constantly changing this story is Latoya. Drew said, well, it seemed to me that these are some candy-coated lies. Drew said, I was actually told to just go along with it, but I'm not going along with it. People are afraid to go against the Queen Kandi Burruss because she has 10 million followers. Kandi said, you was a lying asshole. I saw you, Kenya saw you, Marlo, did you see her or not? Marlo said, I saw 80%. Kandi said, here you go with this 80% bullshit. Marlo said, no, I can only say I saw 80% because this lady out here putting it on her kids. She said on her kids, she ain't never kissed that lady, and I don't think nobody would be out here putting shit on their kids and they lying. Andy said, well, what did you see? Marlo said, I saw them this close in each other's face. Drew said, oh, so you saw us talking. So amidst them going back and forth about who's telling the truth or not, Drew said, Kandi told me when we were filming the after show that she didn't believe a lot of stuff I say, which was very telling. Like, for example, she said she didn't believe me when I said that my sister had a mental health issue. And that brings me to what I wanted to say about Kandi and her Speak On It. First of all, I don't really care to review the entire episode of Speak On It. For me, more than anything, what stood out was the comments that were made regarding mental health. Kandi made some sort of comment that when she met Drew's sister, she didn't think she had a mental health issue because she doesn't look like the kind of woman that has those kinds of issues. Now, not only did Kandi make that comment, when it started to get backlash from the public, she took the episode of Speak On It down, edited these comments out, and then re-uploaded the episode. She never actually addressed to the public what she said. She never corrected, took accountability, apologized, anything. First of all, mental health doesn't have a look. Do you know how many people come down to the YouTube or the Bravo or any other production and they smiling and laughing and looking like they got it all together, and they're battling depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, any damn disorder that choose to kick their ass on any day of the week? It is extremely ignorant to boast the kind of platform that she boasts about and say those kinds of things. My question is, what does it look like to you? What is the look you're expecting? What are you looking for when you're looking to identify somebody that has a mental health issue? I think the comments that she made were ignorant from the jump, and the way that she handled it was cowardly. You didn't even address the public, your followers, anything. You just took it out to take the heat off of you, and then I'm gonna put it back up there. Like, girl, so at the reunion, Drew said, I don't understand why you would tell me some shit like that. Like, you don't believe me when I tell you my sister has this kind of an issue. Kandi said, because you've lied in the past. Drew said, but where's the lie? When have I lied? The lady said, now you tripping because your ass do be lying. You be lying all the time. Sonya said, yeah, you lied on me last year. Yeah, you did. Kandi said, the point is, I didn't believe you because you have a tendency to tell tales from time to time. Drew said, but still, where is the lie? They have yet to be able to run tape on me and prove that I'm lying about anything. Well, they proved her to be a damn lie. They played tape of her saying, I have kissed a girl, it wasn't that big a deal, and then played tape of her saying, I've never kissed a girl. Kandi said, you know, all this time, people have been talking about you being gaslit by Ralph, but the way you just sat up here and lied, I know you be gaslighting him. Kandi said, I now look at y'all's situation totally different. You are a liar and the truth ain't in you. So Andy tries to move on with the conversation and asks Drew how her song is doing. She said, excuse me, Kandi, I just want to make sure that you and I are good. Andy said, hell no, y'all are not good. What is the difficulty? So the next question was directed at Marlo, and the question was, do you feel bad about how you've treated Drew this season? You should really treat women better because not everyone can afford to get their bodies fixed like you. Marlo said, well, first things first, everybody up here has had something done to their body or face. I don't know why they think they're reading me. She said, all I've had is lipo. I had lipo 3 times. I said, not all. Drew said, you're just out of touch. You're out of touch. Girl, shut up. Marlo said, well, Ty said you like to touch a lot. You like to tongue kiss. You like to kiss girls and you're afraid to admit it. Just come on out. She said, I did. I kissed a girl and I loved it. Come see the past coming out soon. Girl. Andy said, well, at the time that we wrapped filming, you weren't able to really talk a lot about your divorce. Are you ready to talk more about it now once we have Ralph come out today? She said, well, we'll see. I haven't really wanted to talk about it because I do have kids that I'm trying to protect, and we are still married, and I believed in the sanctity of marriage. Girl, y'all ain't believed in the sanctity of marriage the entire time y'all been married, and now it's so sacred. Girl, go to hell. So Sonya asked, well, you don't think y'all could mend it? She said, well, as of right now, we're going through the process. Kia said, well, things can change. Sonya said, I think they will. Andy was surprised. He said, really? Marlo said, I think so as well, and I told Ralph that when he reached out to me. I told him that if looks could kill, Marlo would have been stretched out on that damn floor because Drew looked like she wanted to snatch life out of her. Now, see, Marlo, you like to get mad when people call you all kind of hookers and hoes, but then you like to throw in people's face that you always somewhere up under somebody's husband. Marlo said, what, he didn't tell you he reached out to me? Sheree said it wouldn't be the first time, now would it? Now, see, if she whoop your ass, I don't want to hear nothing. So they go to break so that they can bring out Monyetta and Courtney. And Sheree, Marlo, and Sonya are off to the side taking pictures. And Marlo said, yeah, the broke, jealous, pretty girls. They got to get their money up. I said, I know your ass is lying. Sheree just got dragged across the internet by not wanting to pay for a birthday dinner. And nobody knows where your dollars come from. And you want to talk about broke and jealous and who need to get their money up? So they start the segment with Courtney and Monyetta. And Andy asked Courtney, first of all, are you going to be serving cousin or cousin-in-law today? She said, well, it depends on who I'm addressing. And he said, can you explain to me exactly how you related to Ralph? And that's when I perked up, because explain this shit to me too. Because I watched that damn Speak on It, and if this lady ain't had 4 different stories about how her and Ralph are related, she ain't had none. How you go from y'all used to spend the night in the same house and y'all didn't even realize it to when you meet somebody as an adult and then you find out y'all grew up around the same people? Bitch, what is it? Courtney said her dad's sister is married to Ralph's uncle. So What you saying is y'all is kissing cousins. Andy said, I'm sorry. That's a super weak connection. I am so sorry. Courtney said, well, I mean, I guess it depends on who you talking to. We talking to you, and it's weak. Drew said it's giving fake cousin. Courtney said, well, Drew, everything about you is fake, so let's not even do it. I said, well, what in the cousin faith hell is this? So Drew reaches down in her bag and said, here, I got something for you, and throws a plum at Courtney. She said they didn't have any peaches left. Marlo about snap. Marlo said, don't you throw shit over here on my gown. Andy knew that shit was getting ready to go left. Andy said, I'll pick it up. Don't worry about it. Give it here. I'll pick it up. Courtney said, Drew and the corny props again. Well, we know you a fan. You've been watching the show for a minute. But she ain't lied. I'd have rather you throw a damn fit than a plum. So then we get into the Marlo segment. And Andy starts out Marlo's line of questioning by asking her about she and Scott Lee. He asked, is Scott Lee still around? And she said, yeah, we're enjoying each other. We're having a good time. I've not met his kids. He's not met my kids. We're just enjoying each other. He said, oh, great. Well, we have a viewer question. The question is, before Scott Lee, you claim you hadn't been on a date in 4 years, but surely you were getting your needs met. So tell us what you were really doing before Scott Lee. Marlo said, well, I wasn't really big in the bedroom, so it doesn't matter what I was really doing. I wasn't really doing anything. Andy said, well, have you consummated your friendship with Scott Lee? Marlo said, now, you know I done had sex with that man. I'm so sorry. Marlo's update is so empty. They were asking her how the boys are doing. One of the boys just turned 16. They went to the Bahamas for his birthday. They asked if she's still working on expunging her record. She said yes, and Courtney's still helping her, and Phaedra's even helping her. So are you just here to stir up drama? So the next viewer question is directed to Kenya and said, Kenya, why is it a big deal when Sheree's boyfriend slid into your DMs, but it's not a big deal when your boyfriend slid into Marlo's? Kenya told a lie from the pits of social media hell. Kenya said he didn't slide into DMs. What happened was she was on a live and he commented on her live. And when you comment on lives, the comments go to your DMs. Ma'am. Sonya said, I'm sorry, but as the resident social media guru, I have to correct you. That is not true. That man slid into that lady's DMs like he was sliding into home base. So Andy asked Kenya, what has Roy told you about his date with Marlo? She said he told me he don't remember it. He said he don't really remember that, but he thinks he might have taken a lunch. It was not a date. Everybody said, Kenya, it was a damn date. Kenya said, if you drive your own car to the Taco Bell. Now, ma'am, you know you full of shit. You can drive your own car and I don't give a damn where it's at. You go to meet that man, he paying for that food, it's a damn date. So now Kenya decides she can't defend her lie no more, so she just gonna drag Marlo. She said Marlo knows it wasn't a date. All of her dates end with money being left on the dresser. Andy said it had to annoy you to know that he had been out with Marlo. She said it was so long ago and he never spoke to her again. So what? So what is it clearly annoying you right now? You are absolutely full of shit. It's no big deal. If it were no big deal, you would say, yeah, they went on a date. It was nothing. But to try to downplay it from what it really was, make up all this bullshit about he wasn't trying to talk to her, he wasn't in her DMs, you look crazy. So the next question was to Kenya, and the question was, where is Roy? Because we've seen more of his restaurant than him on this damn show. And he asked, did he not want to be on the show? Kenya said, well, I think after he heard that Marlo was going around saying that she had been on a date with him and he popped her cherry, he didn't want to come on. Whatever makes you feel better, Kenya. So everybody's like, oh my God, who said that? Marlo said that? Kenya said, yeah, she said it. It was in the commercial for the season. Andy said, well, hold on now. Because if he saw it in the commercial for the season, that means the season had already wrapped. So that does not explain why he was not in any of the scenes from the season with you. Kenya said, no, I mean, he saw it in the super trailer. I don't care if it was a regular trailer, a super trailer, a double wide trailer. Any damn trailer you saw for the season was after the season wrapped filming. So tell us where your man been. Kenya said, yeah, well, he had heard what we talked about. Girl, what? Andy looked like he was in pain trying to process this lie. So Kenya tries to shift it and make it all about he's so concerned about his business reputation. Andy said, I understand all that. My point is the season had wrapped filming and we didn't see him during filming. Kenya said, well, I mean, he was around, just Not like that. Marlo said he was around all right. He was around to do a commercial for his restaurant. Well, now, I'm going to just tell you, the girl ain't lied because it's giving very much your storyline is sponsored by. So Andy starts the next segment out by asking Courtney about her relationship with Ralph. And did she and Ralph know that they were cousins when they started filming? She said no, they had no clue at all. They found out at Ross's party that they grew up spending the night at the same house. I said, well, this got to be lie number 63. That girl told so many stories about how they're related. Every time she explained it on Speak On It, it was a different story. I don't believe this lady is Ralph's cousin worth a damn. I believe they're using this cousin shit as a cover-up and they is kissing cousins. So the next question was to Sheree, and the question was, can you turn a bone collector to a peacemaker? Because that's exactly what she was trying to get promoted to this season. Andy asked Sheree, do you still consider yourself a bone collector? She said, no, I've been past that down to Sonya. So the next question was directed to Drew, and it was, how did it make you feel when the ladies made fun of your $1,000 lawsuit? Drew said, for me, it was never about the $1,000. The issue was you can't let nobody play with your name. You ain't just gonna drag my name through the streets and think you're gonna get $1,000 out of me to be quiet. So the next question was to Sheree about her Gucci brunch. They said they loved her brunch, but they wanted to know who she felt was the most disappointing housewife. And she said, well, I love my girl, but I got to give it to Kenya. She said, Kenya, you came in some suit that wasn't even Gucci. Kenya said, see, that's how you know a heifer that no labels and not fashion. She said that was classic Gucci. Sheree said, well, I never knew Gucci did the scrunchy sleeve. Kenya said, yes, I don't believe in all that bunch of logo stuff, and me either. Like, for some people, it's about structure. It's about fabric, styles, and silhouettes. And for other people, it's about, you see this thing say Dior. So the next question was directed to Sheree from a viewer, and it was, do you ever watch yourself back and realize that you don't address people in real time? You always wait until you get in the confessional to drag them. Sheree said, that's not true. They said, yes, the hell it is. You hold the crown for smiling in people's faces, not saying nothing, and then getting in the confessional and dragging them to hell. The next viewer question was from Kenya, and it was directed to Sheree. And the question was, why didn't you defend me when Kim made that nasty comment about me still being alive? Now, y'all know Sheree turns into Steven from Django when it comes to damn Kim Zolciak. She will kiss Kim's ass. I didn't think Kim meant that. She didn't really mean that. She says all kinds of ignorant, nasty, bigoted shit all the time, and Sheree always comes to her defense. Sheree said, I mean, you think Kim really wants you to... Kenya said, yeah, after I read her for Absolute Filth a few years ago, yeah. She said, I don't think she wants you to. I don't think she meant that. Kenya said, that's not the point. She said, the point is that was a very nasty comment to make, and I want to know why you didn't defend me. Sheree said, I mean, yeah, it's a nasty comment, but what was I supposed to say? Yeah, she's still alive. They said you could have said exactly that was a nasty comment to make. That is also my friend. Not only is she alive, she's alive and well. Well, Sheree ran out of defenses and said, fuck it, I ain't got one. She said, when it comes down to it, I hear people say a lot of shit about me throughout this group, and nobody ever defends me, so I ain't out here to defend everybody. So they move on to the next viewer question, which was that this viewer really enjoyed Marlo's fashion critiques of Sheree's Gucci brunch. And so they asked for a Marlo's fashion corner for the reunion looks. Now, some of Marlo's critiques I agreed with, some I did not. Marlo started with Monietta. She said, we got Sunday's best over here. Yeah, looking like your mama. I actually liked Monietta's look, but it did give a little bit of Sunday's best 9. Marlo said she really loved Kandi's look, and I agree. Kandi is never the best dressed for me, and I really feel like she was the best dressed at this reunion. I loved her look. Marlo told Kenya she loved the cleavage on her dress, but she just felt like the feathers were peacockish. I felt like Kenya's dress was well made, it was well executed, but it was a lot. Now, I thought the dress was beautiful, her body was beautiful in the dress, but I agreed with Marlo when she said that hair was not a match. Kenya said she over there looking like Mrs. Roper from Three's Company and got the nerve to talk. I mean, my God, when I tell you, I cannot unsee it. Marlo said she loved Drew's look. She'd have done a different shoe, but the dress, the hair, everything else she thought was on point. Now, I thought Drew looked really pretty as well. She wasn't the best for me, but she also was not the worst. She said Sheree was giving simple, chic body. You can't go wrong. I thought she was giving prom 2005, but I mean, what do I know? She said, now, Miss Hampton, Marlo looks amazing as always. She's just sitting over here being extra and they're keeping her name in their mouths. Girl, if you don't carry on. She got to Sonya, said she really liked Sonya's look. It was simple. It accentuated her bump. I don't know, something about the straps made it look homemade to me. I cannot explain it. I feel bad saying it because I know she's pregnant, but it just was not my favorite look. Marlo got to Courtney and said she thought her look was everything. She was loving this. She had on a dress that I've seen a few people wear, but I'm not sure who it's by. It had this whole bedazzled bodice and these sheer pieces and 3D stuff going on. And it was a very pretty look, but Courtney annoys me, and something about her hair looks like they didn't finish. Child, and they got into this whole who filmed the whole argument in the hotel room, who was right or wrong for filming it. They sent it to Latoya. I don't even know what these heifers were arguing about. Kandi asked Monyetta, why did she call what she witnessed a collusion? She went round and round in circles that I cannot trace. She said Courtney was pledging her allegiance to Sheree. Sonya said what was really going on is that they were trying to get to the bottom of who's telling the truth between Drew and Kandi. So they were comparing their experiences of the women, particularly Drew, to say, well, Drew has lied to me, and Drew has lied to me, and Drew has lied to you. So is she lying now? Monyetta is carrying on about what she was showing me, and she was going against the cousin-in-law, the cousin committee. Girl, we don't give a damn. Courtney got a third story about where the whole this came from. Andy said, I'm done. We moving on. Just please. Thank you. So the next question was to Kandi about Courtney, and how did it make Kandi feel to see Courtney call her ghetto and her friends Sheree and Sonya not defend her? They said, well, first of all, she never called Kandi ghetto. She said Kandi brings out the ghetto. Well, what's the damn difference? Marlo said, oh, so now y'all don't say offensive shit because y'all been telling me I suck white cocks. I'm a bottom barrel bitch. Andy just want to know, well, what's wrong with white cocks? Monyetta, there's nothing wrong with white cocks. Girl, we know. This is disgusting. Kandi said what she was really bothered by is when Sonya comes to her telling her the story and she asked Sonya, well, did you defend me? And then I watch her on tape laughing when the girl says that. That's what bothers me. Sonya said, well, you can't be too bothered because you actually set the precedent for that months before that. She said, remember when I sent you the post that Drew had made online where she posted the video clip of her flipping her damn tracks in my face, and she captioned it, hair flipping on the flip-flopper, and you said, well, don't be mad at me, friend, but it's kind of funny. Well, who's laughing now? How you gonna laugh in somebody's face about, don't be mad at me, friend, but it's kind of funny? Well, bitch, this was funny too. I do feel like Kandi expects some level of loyalty and submission from people that she's not willing to give to them. So then Sheree and Monyetta get into it about Monyetta referring to Sheree as one of the hyenas online. Sheree said, well, how the hell I get to be a hyena for trying to keep the peace between y'all? She said, when Marlo slammed that damn door in your face, I was 3-4 people behind her. Me going off to the side to talk to her to keep her foot out your ass is not me being a damn hyena. Andy said, well, to Sheree's point, we are all on a reality show, so why is it such a big deal that Marlo recorded this footage? Monyetta said, well, the issue is that she sent the footage to people outside of the group. Marlo said, yeah, I sent it to the person who was being talked about. So they said, well, Marlo, why would you send it to Latoya? She said, because I figured Latoya would tell the true shit. Well, we know that to be a lie. But if there were someone in the group that actually had a real relationship with Latoya and felt like, girl, they down here dragging your name and there are very disparaging comments being made about you, and felt like she should know this was being said, it would make sense to me. Now, in the case of Marlo, I do think she was just starting shit. So Andy asked Courtney why she would refer to Kenya's fall as karma. Courtney said, well, for me, the definition of karma is just cause and effect. She said, first of all, when Kenya fell, she was cursing out production, so I knew she was fine. Well, just tell all her business then. So the next viewer question was, Kenya, can you explain your trip to Birmingham? Because it seems like you were out of the loop about every event that you were scheduled to be at. Was there even a performance? Monyetta piped up to defend her and said they rehearsed for weeks. There absolutely was supposed to be a performance. Andy congratulated Kenya on her salon and asked where she is with it now. She said they did a soft opening at the beginning of the year, but she's now adding a loft, so it's still under construction. The next question was to Kandi. Do you want your job? They said, do you want to be around this group? Because it seems like you always got an excuse to not be here or an attitude when you are here. So what is it? She said, I do want my job, but what happened was when they started filming this season, she was coming off of filming the Escape versus SWV show. And they had a very intense situation. So when she came into filming this season of this show, she came in with the anybody can get it attitude. And he said, well, now let's get into some things that came out during the finale. He said, now, Monyetta, you spilled the tea that Drew told you that she had a crush on Ty. Andy said, did that lead you to believe that they had something going on between them? Monyetta said, well, when I started seeing stuff all over the place, I didn't know what to think. But then once I got in touch with Drew and Drew explained it, it all made sense. They said, well, make it make sense to us. Damage control Drew jumps in. Monyetta can't even answer no more. Here Drew goes, I mean, we were on set making a movie about a lesbian lover. And I mean, we were joking and it was a joke. You are the damn joke. Andy said, Courtney, it sounds like you and Ralph talked a lot about Drew's alleged affair before it hit the blog. So what did he tell you? Courtney said, all I know is that he was really hurt by it. He was hurt by all the lying and the projecting of what she was really doing onto him. Andy asked Drew, was there any truth to what Ralph told Courtney? Drew said, first of all, Courtney don't know Ralph. She just met Ralph yesterday. And Ralph has been coaching her the entire season. She said, coaching? She said, yeah, coaching, because everything Courtney had to say about me is some shit she got from Ralph. Drew said, I'm going to say this one time. Don't you ever in your life speak on my son. And I'm going to leave that right there. Courtney said, or what? What you going to do? She said, me speaking on adoption is not speaking on your child. And I am so sorry. I know that this makes people uncomfortable, but that is the truth. For somebody to tell you you are a bad parent or a manipulative parent or an absent parent is not speaking on your child. And that is a manipulative tactic to escape any accountability for your lack of parenting. To say this woman was trying to manipulate this man to adopt her child so that she could have someone be responsible for her child while she goes and lives out her fantasies is not talking about the child. It's talking about her and her character as a person, as a woman, as a wife, as a mother. Now, I'm not here to say whether it's true or not. I don't know whether it's true or not, but it's not her talking about her child, period. Drew did seem to have some unidentified ulterior motive because she was pushing for this adoption entirely too hard. And as Ralph has said, the boy has a father who wants to be present in his life. You want me to participate in just robbing him of his rights? So if the child does have a parent that wants to be present, if the child has a step parent that says, I'm willing to be present, but I'm not willing to rob this man of his rights, then what is the motivation? Why is it, oh, he must not love us if he's refusing to adopt this child? And part one of the reunion came to an end with Drew saying, yeah, that's the second time you thought the cameras weren't rolling and they caught you. Courtney saying, you's a damn fool if you believe that. I knew they were rolling. I said multiple times in case they weren't rolling. I made sure they caught that shit. And I believe that. I believe she knows exactly what she's doing. I believe that she and Ralph have had conversations about how Ralph truly feels about Drew's motivations behind trying to get him to adopt this child. And I think Ralph is using her as a mouthpiece. You go out there and say the shit I can't say so I can look like the good loving stepfather when we go to court, but you drag that bitch to hell. And it looks like next week we'll be getting knee deep into Ralph and Drew's business. Child, it's gonna be a mess. But that's it, that's all, and I ain't got no more. Thank you so much for coming down here listening to me and letting me get this off my chest. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. And in the meantime, until next time, just like every time, I love you and I mean it. Bye.